Is a gold tracer and Ashe VOD. We're going to be talking about positioning, target priority, mechanics, and how to use your bob a little bit better. So for starters, I think a warm-up would benefit you quite a bit. If you jump straight into comp, normally that first game's not going to be super great, just because you haven't played and your brain's not really in the rhythm, right? So if you just go and you can do deathmatch, but what I would recommend particularly on Ashe is the IOStux DPO aim trainer. Code for that is JPYHG. I'll also send you the link to that. So, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at how we do a tracer here. Right off the bat, some target priority. Junkrat will smoke you most of the time on Tracer. He does too much damage per hit. Also, even if you were just like when you go deep here, that's where your real mistake is. Once you're here, now you're cooked. Because you're 2 blinks off, right? And you're literally in the middle of the enemy team, which consists of Lucio, Moira, Mei, Junkrat, and D.Va. I mean, they're designed to beat you up. You're done. So when you're on defense, there's a couple things we could have done here, but the general consensus is when you're on defense, you don't want to play super aggressive right off the bat, even if you're playing a dive character. Like, just chill out, let them push up a little bit, let them think they're safe for a minute, and then come when they least expect it and where they least expect it. So I don't think there's anything too wrong with, like, if you were here and then you were just like contesting and just kind of like keeping the Junkrat at bay. That could have been good, and then just knowing when to blink out, because if you stay in this little corridor, he will blow you up. Or even if we came up here and we were shooting them, and we went like here, even then it's a hallway, so maybe not the greatest for Junkrat, but just not overextending is gonna get you more consistent value. Another thing you could do is it takes longer. And if your team doesn't hold it all the way, it can be kind of rough to get back from. But if you take this deep flank over here, you can get the supports. You can kind of poke out the D.Va, and you can get her to waste her dash on you. But really, just anything that's not right off the bat aggression is going to get you more value. Right, kind of contesting front. And this is kind of how you play Tracer on defense. You just chill there, and that angle is fine, but gotta watch out for the trap. It happens. Also, when you recall, you gotta consider where you're gonna recall to, because if you recall, the more you do it, the better you get at kind of guessing where you're gonna be. But if you know you're gonna end up on main, you're really better off just sitting here and then like spamming blink sideways and hoping that the Junkrat doesn't get to you in time, or even just waiting last second until somebody's like looking at you. It's like then I hit recall. All right, that's all for Tracer. There wasn't too much there, but just when you just chill out when you're on defense a little bit. Like you're better off surviving and then getting those little bit of pokes instead of like going in and trying to get a kill and getting nothing. As for here, it's literally just you and the Brig. Like you just shouldn't be here. Even if you were to like get a pick here, or even if you were to make some big play, ignoring the Lucio beat, there's nobody to follow up on it. Which means at the end of the day, it's not really getting any value, and they're still going to get this point here. So whenever you see that nobody's around, first look around to see if anybody's around. And if you realize that nobody is, just walk away. Alright. This is an alright position. And it's okay mostly because of the fact that you're Orisa and the rest of your team is starting to engage. But you don't want to ego this fight, and you're too far up. So honestly, I think this is a good spot, right? Especially, right, you're peeking over the shield, and you have a clear sight line on the Ana, but the second you walk and you pass this corner, you officially have no cover now. So instead, just walk forward off to the right here, and you want to toggle your crouch. Because that's how you utilize the high ground advantage here, right? Because she's looking up at you here, if you're, you know, if you're back here and you're just kind of like peeking in and out, she doesn't really have any cover. You're more likely to win that fight. So just make sure you're utilizing your cover. You don't always have to get the kill. Sometimes a little bit of pressure is good enough. This is where we start to clean it up. This is a great position. This is also really good trigger discipline. I'm going to slow this down just so you can see, because this is a very important part of playing DPS. You are not shooting unless you see that your crosshair is on them. Right? I mean, sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't, but that was a very good example of it. Also, your sensitivity might be your aim sensitivity might be a little low. I mean, take that with a grain of salt, because I don't think sensitivity matters that much, like if you're good with it. But there are some times where it feels like you're kind of like fighting to drag your crosshair over in time. Just something to consider. All right, so now that everything's set, I like that we're being aware of the Junkrat. But now we set up. We gotta think about what else we can do. All right, since that Ana decided to reveal itself, same thing, right? You just want to crouch. Probably crouch, get your shots off. Get pushed off by the Mei. It happens. Good job giving up high ground, though. There's not really too much going on here for a little bit. You do just want to kind of sit and contest this high ground. It's really all you can do on it. And it's an awkward spot, I agree. But maybe we could go here. This could be nice. Because not only are you farther away, but you have a longer sight line. Could be something worth trying out on one of your games. I mean, it's situational, but I think that could be good here because you don't really have any dive targets. But at the same time, there's not anybody who can really contest you too much on here. And even if they do, you can just kind of coach gun away. So I would say both these spots are good. Good pick. That was such an unnecessary bob, though. Like, nobody's here. There's no threat. Just hold on to it. You only want to use Bob when, like, stuff is hectic. And you know there's something that's about to go down. Because if not, then it's just, you know, a wasted Bob could be... That could really determine who wins the next team fight. This is all okay. This is where being down here would help out a lot, because you could get an easy pick on the Lucio. You might be able to take out that Junkrat. And it's, I mean, it just looks and feels uncomfortable playing up here when they're just coming around that bend. And now everybody's past you. So this actually becomes more of like a flank. Good picks off it, right? That was a good dynamite. Coach gun back or coach gun up. This is a good high ground spot to have, right? Since they're pushing up, you gotta readjust your position, which you did relatively well with. Take a look at that trigger discipline real quick. Here. Some good shots. Seems like you're just kind of panicking here. And you're really just kind of turning off your brain and shooting. The more you focus on having your crosshair on them and getting those clear shots, the more you'll get picks. Because that's the only reason you're not hitting them. That was pretty clean. There's some good trigger discipline again. We like to see. If you start using the IO ducks though, like you will get this. Just a little bit of review on this position, because this is actually a really great spot to be. Yeah, right around here. So when you come up here, this, like, you just have sight lines on everybody. And if our mechanics were just a little bit cleaner, you probably would have killed 3. No problem. Another good thing about this position, when you have the high ground like this, such an easy dynamite right there. Yeah. Right? It doesn't land that much because you missed the shot, but other than that, I mean, it's still got its value. You're still getting those ticks. I think it's on the Rhine. But no, that's some good stuff. Like to see that position. Alright, now they got a Pharah, which means it's your job to contest her at most times. Just shoot her, though. Like, it would be cool if you hit this, but, like, you gotta make the safer play. Because now you don't really get anything on her. And she can just kind of keep pushing up on you. and you're forced. I mean, you're not forced to drop down, but you do drop down because of the threat that's there. Right? You should be cooking that Pharah. Now that the Pharah is up there, though, I do kind of like this spot because it keeps you. You know, you have the cover over your head, which doesn't seem to be too focused on getting you. But just keep that in mind. The safer play is always going to be better. And most of the time, the safer play for Ashe is sitting very far away and just kind of poking at people. Gonna have Bob again soon. There we go. Just another trigger discipline thing. What do I feel about that Bob? I mean, it's a good contest, but the problem is that it doesn't provide any kind of unique sightline. You know, you already have most of your team here, and they can just kind of sit behind payload. So, whenever you get Bob, you want to kind of be premeditating it too. You want to think, where can I put my Bob so that the enemy team is going to be scared to push up? Seems to me like the best option here is run him right into this van. Because that way, the Rhine has to turn around, and then he gets opened up by the Orisa. The Pharah can't do anything past this pillar. And the rest of the enemy team is forced to go back here. So at the end of the day, you end up isolating everybody, and even maybe get a few kills with it. But instead, I mean, it works, right? But they can just kind of sit behind payload here. Good first round. That was actually you cleaned it up there. I think honestly Ashe or Tracer would have worked here, but you definitely seem to be more comfortable with Ashe at the moment. All right. Now, as for this second part, now we're going to be talking about how to take more aggressive positions and how to take space on the map. Good job starting with the opening high ground, just in case there's somebody on the enemy platform. Good job following up with your diva too. I really like this. It's good to get that little pick, and also just keeping track of it. I mean, the baby diva pushed up too much. That's her fault. But at least you got some value out of it. Oh, one more shot, you would have got it. Gotta stop back for a second. I guess that was actually kind of good. But you probably could have popped an earlier dynamite or something and got that, maybe got that kill in the Alari instead of just sitting there. You don't need to be just sitting here. Like, you're fine. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody's spamming you out. You, like, walk up to this corner, push up on the Moira, and it seems like you kind of neglect all of this ground below you, and that allows the Sojourn and the Moira to kind of do whatever they want for a little bit. Just having that little bit of extra pressure could have given could have got you to win the team fight. Playing a little merry-go-round with the Alari. Good dynamite. Nice. Now Coach Gun over. The second you get that kill, everybody's pushing up. You need to be there with them. Coach Gun here. Take the high ground. That's an easy kill on the Sojourn. Sojourn's not here yet. It's an easy kill on the Sojourn. It's good pressure on the Moira. Forced to back up more. You know, you enable a lot by taking some space here. But you were a little late to it, which allowed the Symmetra to get there first. That's why you got to be tight with your team, especially when you're doing a little bit more of like a pokey brawl comp, the Sigma Brig cast thing going on. This position is kind of, I mean, it's okay. Like, you will survive here. It might honestly be the best move, actually, now that I'm looking at this. Especially now that, you're right, ult's going off. And if you go too close, you're gonna get cooked. Yeah, no, this was a good spot to be. I like this. Now rotate out. This is a good angle. I like this. All right, just headshot. That would have been a kill. Nice. Now we have Bob again, so we got to think, where can we put this? Good reposition. This is great spot to be for Ashe. Now, there's a sim wall. You have the opportunity to make a really good play with Bob here. So you got your Sigma and your Brig on this end. You got your Cassidy flanking. You want high ground, right? This is just, I mean, they can't really do anything about this. They're literally pinched from almost every angle. If you throw your bob out here, you're encompassing them in like a diamond of crossfire, and they can make a choice. They can either retreat and let you keep pushing payload, they can die, or they can try to push here, which will also probably get them killed by the Sigma and the Brig. And the bob you do isn't bad, but it could have been a lot better. We could have gotten more value out of this, right? Maybe if you threw that away, maybe your Cassidy would have lived. And this position, once again, it doesn't provide anything. Like I get it, you were trying to throw it at the Alari, or was that the Alari? No, the Symmetra. And hey, you got the bounce out of it. But then you didn't follow up on it. You're reloading right now. Like at least kill the Sim when you do that. And you do. Okay, I'll give you that one. But this Bob is just like, oh, okay, well now I just have to sit here, but that's okay because they're still pushing payload. They can still contest without this Bob really being a problem. So just make sure you're always looking, what angle can I throw that Bob on that will create a crossfire? It's a lot like Torb Turret, but much better. We didn't need to give up high ground here. Because if that's a better Sojourn, you're dead. Like, you could have just chilled up here and kept poking at people. There's no reason to drop down. But I mean, hey, you want it. Can't complain too much there. Good job taking cover while Bastion is throwing his turret out. Alright. And that's game. That was actually pretty short VOD. But yeah, let's do some recap in there. So, IO Stuck's DPO it'll benefit you greatly. I'm telling you right now, you will start getting kills and you will start hitting shots like never before. Maybe turn your sensitivity up. Try it. If it doesn't work, go back down. You know, just do what's comfortable when it comes to that sort of thing. For Bob, you really need to be hitting those far angles, right? If you can send it to their backline, that's normally like the most successful play, or at least tends to be the most successful play. But just anything that creates a crossfire. I think if you just start, even if you just start thinking about your Bobs a little bit more, because it seems to me like you just get ult and then you throw it. That will make your ults so much better. With a little bit of tracer we did, just like if you're on defense, chill out. Let them push up a little bit. I should note that's only for like the beginning of the game. That's not the entirety. Because what is 20 meters mean to the enemy? I mean, actually, I don't know if 20 meters is a lot, but like, okay, they push up a couple of feet before you contest them, right? You're better off just waiting, hiding, and then finding the better pick. But hey, other than that, good job. Thank you for sending in the VOD. This helps me out a lot. It's good practice. And yeah, have a good day. PlayStation